Colorado. Miasms are hereditary. This is a combo remedy for inherited disturbances caused by degenerative disease. So, like, for example, cancer. Cancer is just a degeneration. Now, when these words show up, it doesn't mean one has that or is labeled with that. We're not in a diagnostic. We do not diagnose, treat, or cure. This is all for information based on stress responses to that. Can somebody with cancer benefit? Absolutely, because we're working on the stress of that cancer, which causes a lot of stress, a lot of psychological, emotional stress as well, not to mention the physical degeneration. So again, I want to be clear, this is not a diagnostic tool. It's actually pre-diagnostic. It's something, and it is registered with the FDA. I don't have a lot of faith in that organization. At the same time, it is a FDA registered, cleared technology. Drugs are approved. Devices are registered. If someone ever asks, is that device approved? Well, they just don't understand. No devices are approved. It's actually, now it's cleared for stress reduction. It's cleared for muscle reeducation, and it's cleared for pain management. Those are what we make claims based on the system. What I'm showing you is what the clinician sees. So if you want to talk more about that, call me later and we can go down that. That's boring stuff. Let me share a couple of the key programs, the body viewer. This is something that the clinician would share with the client. And this is a library of actual high-end definition videos that sync with the body's frequency, what they picked out here. And it opens up here in a separate little app down there, and that will open up in a moment. So from here, there's a list of programs: acupuncture, the Allersode. Allersode, think of it as allergies, the food sensitivities, things of that nature. Let's go down to the risk profiles. This is a way you can skew the bell curve a little bit. So now we took 15,000 items and we can go into some of the main categories: sugar regulation, water, acid, alkaline. So the pH, the alkaline acidity of the blood of the person, bone, fungus, amoeba, degeneration, and you can double click and you can run a retrainment. So this is one way to start the retrainment process. You can do individual item treats too, where you're training the body. When I say treat, it's really retrain. This is when you're sending this frequency back. So the test was the assessment. That was the data collection from the individual based upon all of those different categories. Now we get to go in and start to retrain the body's stress response. And this is where really the fun begins. Sometimes a client will be very proactive in the engaged in the session. Other times it's going to be a more relaxed state, which is really encouraged, and that means they're in that state of rejuvenation. They're resting. When we sleep, when we rest is when we heal. When we rest and when we sleep is when we regenerate. You've all heard that, right? Many of you may have children. I'm sure you have parents and children. We sleep to regenerate and rest. That's when we grow. That's when all the growth hormone factors, all the things come out to heal us and heal us. So sleep and insomnia is huge. And this is how one of the benefits of the system. The Celsius scale. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Are you able to go into the home use program?
Yep, exactly. I'll go there right after this. So the stress scale, alarm, adaptation, exhaustion. Look up Hans Selye, everybody. A little homework for you. He was a German doctor who did a bunch of research on stress. And this scale, you want to move up to alarm, where you're responding. When we adapt, things start to accumulate. And when you're in exhaustion mode, that's when you get sick. That's when you get the little pathogens to stick. So let's go to the home use. And you guys, we haven't scratched the surface on this, so it's all good. I didn't expect to. So the home use is really effective. There's like 6 different categories. The overall approach: general stress, anti-aging, beauty, overall wellness, awareness training. The physical body: fibromyalgia, degeneration, inflammation, injury repair, infection, circulation, weight loss, chronic pain, emotional trauma, addiction release, insomnia, depression, spiritual, mental, and superconscious. You can set this up to 90 minutes and it will automatically run these auto focus therapies where it's going to be sending and receiving a unique custom program for the person. So this is used a lot for the healer, heal thyself, practitioners who want to work on themselves, or why it's called home use. People will acquire the systems or our pre-owned systems that are more cost effective so they can run this, and they can run this without having that education needed. So with that said, there's tons left on the table, but I'm going to have to be okay because I want to address the light therapy. This is really something, you guys, if you are looking for answers that you just haven't found and you're running into dead ends, and this doc's telling you to go to this doc and this doc, or somebody hasn't reached out yet to a doctor and you want to explore what could it be, what possible stress could be causing this the suffering, connect with us. We're in the business of proactive healthcare. We are passionate about helping you find a solution that is non-invasive, holistic. So I'll wrap up for the biofeedback. Anything?
Quantum Zeroid.
And I'll do the lights quickly so that we can open up the Q&A because I wanted to be done at this time. So
and then Jake, as you're going through that, I just wanted to mention that it's used for the stress management, detection, and muscle reeducation, but it's also for peak performance. So for those that are well and healthy and just need that tune-up, need that extra go, that extra wellness boost that will get you and take you to the next level. This is the technology that actually separates you and gives you that extra. So.
Yeah, there's a famous tennis player, and we're not. This isn't a sales call, so I can share this information, and I'm not using his name, but he's friends with the developer. He was well known, famous tennis player. Just got into trouble because he wouldn't abide by. He listened to his conscience. He got kicked out of the Australian Open. Novak Djokovic, he uses this with his trainer to stay focused. And his belief system is that the natural body is the answer. Well, we can connect the dots of why he didn't bend over and take a shot just so he could play in a tournament. So I'm just letting you know, peak performance, absolutely. And you guys, the key here with light therapy and biofeedback is do something action now. Don't wait till you break, because this makes life more enjoyable now. Don't push until you snap and now you have to recover. These are not triage systems. These are for the proaction. This is designed for peak performance. So that exactly, Nick. The day may not be far off when most homes will have a light source, most likely an LED device, to be used for aches, pains, cuts, bruises, joints, and which can also be applied to their hair and even transcranially to the brain. So this is Dr. Michael Hamblin from Harvard, speaks a lot about light therapy, and that was something he did from the nuts and bolts of low-level light therapy. So LED light therapy, you guys, is LED light therapy, polychromatic light therapy. Ours is InLight. That's the name of the company we work with, and it's unique, different from the ones you can find on Amazon. Those are, they're cheap. They're made in China. They're made overseas. They're not made in the United States. The LEDs burn out, but they also don't have these underlying frequencies, these Niger frequencies, for which makes our light system different. And I have my light system. I have a brain cap here, but I'm just going to hit some high notes. I want to leave it open to Q&A. The lights are different than the biofeedback. These are very prosumer friendly, and that's why they play so well. A lot of our practitioners use both, and these are things they can send home with the clients. And this is a true home healthcare system and device that helps your body increase circulation. It's about taking control of your well-being. Here's my family, you guys. I'm not going to go into introductions. Love what I do. I practice what I preach to the best of my ability. And you don't know me yet. So I'm introducing myself to you, and I look forward to coming on again with my partner, Nick. So the systems are a class 2 medical device like the biofeedback, and it uses this proprietary multi-pulse technology as well as red, blue, and near infrared. It's a controller. There's a 2-port and 6-port controller, and there's red, blue, and near infrared light spectrums that penetrate the skin and into the bone for, again, increased circulation, and also something that I want to talk about. So I'm not going to get into this. We talked about this already. This is where it falls in. It's a combination really of high tech and some of these ancient energies. That's the emergence. That's the ancient medicine meets modern tech with both of these systems. So what is photobiomodulation and LED light therapy? Photobiomodulation, light therapy, polychromatic light therapy. These are all the same terms, you guys, for light therapy. Light emitting diodes, LEDs, produce visible and infrared light waves. LEDs are applied directly to the skin to stimulate a variety of physiological responses, and it's for reducing pain and increasing circulation. So we're going to watch this, and then you'll get an idea of what the light therapy is, and then we'll open it up to Q&A, and I can answer, and I can also send this presentation, you guys, some of this to you. We have a presentation tomorrow, the second Thursday. It happened to coincide. Every second Thursday, we do a hour light presentation. You guys are more than welcome to join that anytime you wish. And we have a little information Matt's going to send you after so you can access that. So let's listen here.
A closer look illustrates how the use of light therapy with infrared diodes can help promote the healing process in the body. At the basic level, all cells in the body have a miniature power plant within called the mitochondria. This is where our cell's energy is produced. The technical term for this energy is called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP for short. ATP is formed from oxygen and glucose, both of which are carried to cells by blood flow. Patients with neuropathy often have decreased blood flow, which means all cells, including nerves, are not receiving adequate amounts of oxygen and glucose. Therefore, the mitochondria cannot manufacture normal amounts of ATP. Nerves, most commonly in the extremities, sense this lack of ATP production by sending pain signals to the brain. In some cases, a lack of sensation rather than pain is the chief symptom, and this is the main reason for falls. Because the mitochondria are very sensitive to light, infrared light therapy can stimulate ATP production in the mitochondria. That is, if the nerves receive glucose and oxygen through increased blood flow to the nerves. Light energy stimulates the release of nitric oxide from hemoglobin into the bloodstream. When nitric oxide is released from hemoglobin, it enters the muscle cells in walls of the blood vessels. The muscle cells relax as the blood vessel diameter enlarges, allowing more blood to flow through the vessels. Increasing nitric oxide levels in the body offers a host of benefits. These can include anti-inflammation. Inflammation occurs when oxygen levels are too low, so increasing blood flow via nitric oxide reduces inflammation. Tissue regeneration. Tissues that need to heal require oxygen, nutrients, ATP, and growth factors. Nitric oxide provides an environment for enhanced healing. The key to accomplishing this? Better blood flow. Pain reduction. Pain occurs when oxygen levels at the nerve are too low. Think of how painful your finger becomes if you wrap a rubber band around it. The rubber band cuts off blood flow, thereby depriving nerves and other cells of oxygen. The pain recedes when the rubber band is removed. Increased localized circulation. Nitric oxide is increased locally when light energy is applied to any specific site. Along with it, blood flow increases at the same point. Light is composed of photons. Photons are quantum units of energy. A photon emitted at a specific wavelength or color contains the same energy irrespective of the source. Light near the blue end of the spectrum penetrates about 2 to 3 millimeters. Light at the red end of the spectrum penetrates about 8 to 10 millimeters. And near-infrared light penetrates about 20 to 100 millimeters. Near-infrared light is more energetic than visible light, less resistant to reflection and absorption, and therefore penetrates soft tissue to a deeper level. These are generalizations because the more red cells with hemoglobin in the path of the photons, the shallower the depth of the penetration. Remember, hemoglobin absorbs the near-infrared light energy, thereby releasing nitric oxide. The net result of light therapy is a cascade of beneficial chemical reactions throughout damaged nerve cells that stimulate healing. This response can be directly attributed to increased blood flow. This enhanced, localized blood flow improves tissue oxygenation and therefore plays a role in the following: improved sensation, which offers better gait and balance when walking; reduced pain, which can allow for better sleep at night, as well as reduced burning and stinging sensation in the extremities; increased oxygenation, which acts to reduce inflammation; and finally, increased circulation, which offers the body decreased wound incidences and shorter healing times.
All right. So I'm going to stop sharing and we can get back into this if we need. I want to give time for Q&A and honor that spectrum. We just scratched the surface, but the light therapy, very, very easy to apply. What I want to do is, it showed how the pads apply in those three spectrums. So I hope that was informative, you guys. Again, probably left a lot more questions on the table, but these two technologies are pretty profound in people's lives. Like anything, if you don't use it, it's not going to benefit, right? If you don't have the the consistency. Remember the retraining analogy with the trainer. It's like a diet. It's like anything. It's like a relationship, right? Anything you don't nurture and use and communicate with, the results don't follow. So these aren't quick fixes. They're not a guarantee. I do know, though, from proof of concept in the market for the biofeedback for 30 plus years and light systems for 20, there are a couple frequency-based technologies you now have insight with, so you can tap into it and you can benefit from it for you, your family, and anybody else you feel could use this. So we're here. So thank you, Matt. Thanks, you guys, for your attention. And I do want to comment and applaud you all for being on. We met Matt a few months ago, and we're not part of any assembly. We're not part of any group yet, but we are conscious and committed brothers of yours. Like, we get it, and we are learning a lot more about things that you guys are aware of that we're not yet, and we're opening up to it. So with that said, I commend you for investing in your health, investing in your well-being, because you first have to be aware. You first have to be conscious, and then you can take action. So with that said, Matt, I'll pass the ball back to you, brother.
Thank you so much, Jake. That was great information. I have got a bunch of questions on my own, but I would encourage anybody with questions, go ahead and raise your hand, and James will call on you. I have a personal question. Do you mind? Do you use both systems on a regular basis, Jake? You and Nick?
Yep, I do.
Mind my asking?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So biofeedback I use for professional demonstrations, of course. I've been marketing and selling the systems directly for 22 years. My dad helped develop the system back in 89, 90, and he's had a clinic since then, since I was 10. So absolutely love it. And the light therapy, for about 7 years. I played college football in Santa Barbara City College, and then came back to Denver and played. And I've had a lot of brain concussions, and my focus, and didn't want to go down the route of some of the central nervous system stimulation because of how I grew up in hippie Boulder, Colorado is where I'm from. And I was blessed by not having that. But so, yeah, absolutely. The light therapy, I'll show it to you. I don't know. Have you seen a light therapy, Matt? Did we ever share this with you? So
no.
Here's like the helmet. Here's a little 2-port system. It's just like a little, it's a little, the 6-port is 6. It's more and has different auto frequencies. But no, this is something I use. I'm trying to regrow my hair and I'm experimenting with it. But it helps me through the day. I'll put this on making calls. Nick laughs. He doesn't, I don't worry about him. But no, I throw it on. And this is 2 pads that I made into a helmet. The light cap isn't made anymore, but the pads are. And they come in these different pads. You can wrap them. My 8-year-old son bangs his knee at baseball, can come back, set his setting, and it's truly a healthcare system at home that allows my sons. I got a little 3 and 8. I have a 3-year-old and 8-year-old, and they've used it. And I used it actually right when my son was born, Brady, in Michigan here. There's not a lot of light. He was born in late fall, early winter into November. And there's something called, a lack of bilirubin production. The liver hasn't jump started yet, right? And jaundice it's common. It's not life-threatening as long as it's taken care of. But the hospital was going to put him in a bed right after he was born for 3 days in a blue light bed. And I was like, I don't think so. I checked the same spectrum of light with the blue light, and that's something I'm going to share with you just real quick while I'm talking about that, because
and as he's pulling that up, I just want to say I purchased 9 months ago when I started with Jake, and he shared them with me. And I used the eye mask and the pad on my head. And my vision has normally, for the past 10 years, normal vision, same prescription. I got my prescription done 2 months ago, and it actually decreased. So both eyes actually got better from just using it once or twice a week. So just, a little small thing, but any type of pain, any pain that's going on, you put it on there, you set the setting, and amazing results. So anyways.
Yeah.
So I have another question. What price point are we looking at for both systems, this as well as the quantum?
So quantum biofeedback for the unit. Are you now? Was that Matt who asked that?
Yes.
I'm sorry. So Matt, the price point on the biofeedback, again, I'll answer it twofold. One as a consumer, like a session, what that rate is usually, and then also if you wanted to acquire one. Again, the biofeedback is a more enterprise level, technology, but in the big scheme of things, it's nothing in terms of what you'll spend if you do not manage your well-being. So with the light therapy, you can go to a light therapist, and it's on average $30 to $50 a session for about 40 minutes, 20 to 40 minutes. There's 2 settings, right? This runs for 20 minutes, and it's recommended up to 40 minutes a day. So the systems, though, if you want to acquire a light system, they range from a basic 2-port 1 pad starts at $1,100, and the 6-port 5 pad, 6-port 5 pad or 6 pad, it comes with multiple pads depending on the promotion in the month, is the highest level, and that's $49.95. So it's about $5,000. So $1,000 to $5,000 is the price points for the light therapy systems, and they're great. I mean, Inlight is an amazing manufacturer. They're manufactured out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. David
US
Malone
made.
is the designer. Stands by his product. You can call him, and he's accessible. They are sold through authorized reps only. You can't just go order them. The neoprene is really durable. If they break, sometimes there's a bad batch of a cable. They replace them within the warranty period. 2 years on the box, 90 days on the pad, just because wear and tear and people's own, yet low cost to replace. So really, really a cool product, but it is on a high end of the industry. If you go onto Amazon, if you go onto eBay or Amazon, you'll find light therapy systems, little wands, face masks made in China, made in Taiwan, that are, $200 to $400, $500. So this is a niche. It's a higher end light therapy system, but let me remind everybody, the main difference is not just the blue and the red and the near infrared light. It's the quality of the LED, 50,000 hours lifetime per LED is the kind of that stress test they've done. But it's also the Niger frequencies behind it. There's Hertz frequencies being pulsated behind it, which drives in and creates the diversity, which allows the light to come in better. And that's proprietary. That's what makes it different. So,
and the support system. The support system.
Go ahead, Matt. Well. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just saying, Jake, it's the support system as well.
And are you there, Matt? Did you freeze?
Yeah, sorry, I had a little bad connection here, and I've got a little time delay or whatever, so I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go. You're good.
Okay. That's fine. So the lights, 1 to 5,000 for your own, unit. A very popular system for people who just want to get started is simply a 2-port, 2-pad, eye mask and a body pad. It's $13 or $12.50. Is that what it is? Yeah, $12.50. And you guys, I can send price sheets, all that, no problem. You can go to whitedoveglobal.com. You can see all the different options there too. The biofeedback sessions range from about 100 to 200 an hour is on average. Usually they're about 1 to 2 hours. So it's about $100 an hour for going to see. The amount of information you gain is just really, you can't even compare. It's endless. A key with the biofeedback system, though, is really finding that really good fit in the practitioner and that bond. Like, it's an instrument. So the artistry is a major part of delivering beautiful music. Nick, you could have the same guitar as me, Matt, all of us. We all are going to play a different style, a different tune. Some may be like nails on a chalkboard, me probably. The other might make you just cry. The other might make you joyful. So my point is the artistry in the practitioner is very key in that. And there's many different modalities that use it. So that's going to range.
On the need.
Some people build it into their greater service, right? There's a 2-hour block. They might do biofeedback. They may do lights. They may do acupuncture. Others do solely just the session. And there's different models. But if you are interested in learning more about, attaining a session, let us try to help find a practitioner for you. We can't guarantee there's one local, but we can try. And they're all over the country and globe. Now, to acquire a system, there's pre-owned models, and there's also the newer models. So that's the pre-owned Skio. That's our previous model. The newer model is it's what we it's the QXED, and there's a newer Skio which we don't have to demo in front of us, but it's the newer Skio that Nick held up. And that system starts at 10 grand, that system, which comes with software licensing, comes with training, comes with support. You need a laptop computer. So a full package pre-owned systems around 13 grand. The newer systems, the QXED is 21,500 euro. It's about 25,000. So it's about 12 to 25 is the range. And ultimately, there's costs for the systems that don't change, but your need and what training, what education, that varies quite a bit. And so that's where Nick and I help find what one's need is. For a home user, simply a basic instruction, kind of level 1 certification, so you know what you're doing and you feel good, you're confident. Because remember, even if you're using that mat for your own home use or your family, in order to benefit and gain the most, you need to know what to interpret. You need to know how to relay the information. Although the assessment is objective, the data is very subjective. So a trained practitioner is necessary there. I hope I answered your question.
And we also work with different financing companies as well, just so you guys know if anyone's looking for financing.
And to me, it seems like it's definitely the future of medicine. That's that's what I'm looking for, is this exact type of stuff. So, thank you guys. Does anybody have any questions? I don't see anybody else, any hands up. Anybody have questions?
How to raise their hand? There we go. I just wanted to make one statement before we go to Luann, who's up for the question. Does anybody remember in Star Trek where they would wave that light wand over and heal the wound, and then a couple of times and you got it? Anyway, just
the
wanted
tricorder
that brought that back into reality.
Do you know?
Luann, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you. Thanks.
I want to comment on that. Go ahead, Luann. Hi.
Hi. Thank you. It's been very informational. I'm familiar and own a bio well.
Okay.
And I'm familiar. I have a friend with a Metatron Blue Opal. Are you familiar with both those devices and able to speak to a difference with your machine?
You know, I know the BioWell is familiar. And is that a box? Is it
the BioWell?
Is it like a box with the flower of life on it?
I don't know about the flower of life. I don't remember flower of life. It reads your
aura?
The same camera type.
Yeah.
A GDR camera type.
Right. So it's using. I am familiar with it, and it's a really cool technology. The technology is in the camera, right? The
I'll
camera.
Give myself a face.
Yeah. Hi there. Hi. Nice
Hi.
to see you.
Yeah. You too.
So again, I would say same classification, same category of frequency medicine, by energetic medicine, these types of different systems. The difference is the BioWell also has a software, I believe, right? It'll take the picture, it'll scan, it'll give you kind of like your chakras, like an aura type.
Yes. It uses the chakras primarily because of the connection of the nerve ending, the nervous system to the chakras, and reading the energy level there. So it's energy based as well.
Absolutely. So to answer your question, how it compares to this, we have a whole program for the chakra, for the it's called the body face scan, and it actually does it, but the mechanism, the communication, how it gains the information is different. Ours is measuring a reactivity to a frequency presented to the body.
Okay.
The BioWell, I believe, uses the camera to access that.
That's right. It reads your fingerprint.
Yeah.
It uses each finger, and each area of the finger represents a system in the body.
Exactly. So I love it because I like it for this reason, because the assessment is not subjective, meaning it removes the subjectivity from the practitioner's unconscious bias. Practitioners aren't maliciously going in saying, I think you have this. Some are maybe, but most aren't. Yet what's so profound and what's been studied in quantum physics is the observer actually can influence results. So the fact the BioWell or our QoxyDuctors, Skios, Indigos, these are all our technology. It in the assessment part of it removes that. So there's a really honest, it's integrous with the communication. What differentiates ours too is, I believe, the frequencies and all the frequencies it can retrain the body with. I don't know if the BioWell can do that or not.
The BioWell is one directional. Well, slightly. It will create tones for you.
Okay. Yeah.
There is a way to create tones for healing.
And there's
no
value
frequency returned.
There is so much value in awareness and in being. That's where it starts, is being the biofeedback. It's a form of biofeedback. The information we're able to then do something with. We can act. We can make a difference. So no, that's really cool. What was the other system? I'm sorry.
It's called Metatron. I don't know if Metatron is first, but it's Metatron Blue Opal or Blue Opal Metatron. And it is an FDA approved device, and it does send information back and forth.
Cool. I have not heard of it. But I'm going to make notes.
Oh, and if
the root cause with Metatron.
Through Matt,
Blue
I
Opal.
can introduce you to my friend.
Perfect.
You guys
cool.
can chat about. He loves learning about other equipment as well.
I see. Okay, I'm on their site right now. Or someone that uses it.
Mhm.
Benefits 13 scale for health eval 3D model. Yeah. So again, you guys, we are not the only show in town. These technologies are only going to grow. Ours has been around. We feel ours is unique, and it is unique because of that zeroid process. The way the frequencies were stored, the way it communicates and gets response back, that's really what differentiates ours, and how to have that cybernetic loop throughout the session, back and forth, kind of massaging, nurturing the session along. But no, thank you so much, Luann. I appreciate you. Yeah. Thanks for that question.
Now, I was also looking at the light system. I Googled that. I believe I found that and was using their drop down. But they talked about working past life issues in the light. Let me see if I have the right URL.
Okay. I know our biofeedback has programs like that.
I thought I saw that, so I was going to have you talk more about that. I do healing work for past life work, trauma work, chakra work, and that's what I use my BioWell for.
Yep.
Okay. Tell me about your work there.
No, so the light system is used. It is used to help reset that sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system balance. It can help facilitate that with other modalities. I would say that biofeedback, though, definitely, because of the interaction between the clinician, the practitioner, and the recipient, the client, and the ability for it to tap into the subconscious and the superconscious and these different relationships with the different dimensions, really, past life, future, things of this, the biofeedback, and it has specific programs for that. So, but no, for the lights, I've never heard that connection with the lights, although it does make sense. And if you find that website, shoot it over to me.
Okay, we will. And maybe I could talk offline and learn a little bit more in the detail area that I'm interested.
Yeah,
we would love that.
We'll have Nick or Jake put their information down in the chat. Does everybody know where the chat is down at the bottom? Add their information. They'll be able to get a hold of you. Why don't we go on to the next? Thank you for the questions, Leon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let's go on to a couple other, get some more people involved. Orlean, you're up next. Go ahead.
Thank you. I wondered if you were familiar with the Rife frequency machine that was, I understand, squelched many years ago. That this Mr. Rife had discovered that every disease has a frequency, and by kind of tuning in on that frequency, they could deal with it, and he essentially was able to stop cancer. And everyone was really excited about it at first, and then when the doctors began to realize, we won't make any money, will we, if cancer is cured? And so then they started saying terrible things about it, and I understand this Mr. Rife ended up dying as an alcoholic because of everything turned against him. So is your machine similar in some way, or?
So yes, there's a Rife generator, Rife frequencies built into our system, and Raymond Royal Rife. That story is one. He was a pioneer, and so yes, I am familiar, and that's a wonderful question, very relevant. What Rife did not do set him up to easily be diminished the way he was and ridiculed and blasted as a quack and the whole nine. Is he did not want to go through the regulatory process. That, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's the end all say all, but what it did was it easily allowed the discreditation of his name, of his technology. If he would have went and got his 510K and did it and played the game, kind of, that technology would be on the market, sold, and relevant. That's what our system did. Our developer, who has his own, he's very eccentric. We can get into that in another conversation. It's not about the developers, it's about the technology and results. He actually went through that process. Same with this Metatron. The genius has to get grounded in man laws. You know what I mean? And there's sometimes a disconnect. And unfortunately, Raymond Royal Rife, who is one of the godfathers of frequency medicine, unfortunately, but we understand, we know there's truth in that. And it is part of our system. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, very cool.
I was going to point out that it's almost, in these days, in light of what's going on in the awakening, it's proof that his system worked by what happened to him.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Let's go with
today. Today, the censorship would be like, there's truth there, right? I mean, if he was ahead of his time, so was Tesla, and look how they treated, Nikola Tesla, right? Oh no. And we could go down that rabbit hole all night long if we want to, but go ahead. I won't take over, but thank you for bringing that up, Marlene.
Thanks, Jake. We got Debbie with her hand raised. We're going to go with Debbie on Pluvis.
Hi, Jake. My question was kind of answered now that I have Nick's phone number to find out about practitioners possibly being near me. Do some of them, all of them, or none of them do both technologies, the biofeedback and the light therapy?
Nick, go ahead if you want to answer that.
Yeah. Some do. Some use both technologies. Some have used the biofeedback device for 15 years and have just acquired the light therapy, and now they start incorporating that into their sessions. It just depends on the client, on the practitioner, actually. Yeah.
But yes, they do. Yeah, some have both. Some use one. Some use the other.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're not always bundled together. They are two independent modalities, right? Two independent technologies.
Thank you. Like I'll get a hold of you, Nick.
Sounds good.
Radio in your car and the lights in your car. They're two different ones, and they do different things, but both are very essential when you're traveling.
Yes, I like it. Perfect.
And that traveling component, just to let you know, I mean, when I was working construction, a job that I was doing, I was able to plug it into my cigarette lighter with a little inverter and actually use it as I was driving. So you can use them on the go as well. So
just don't use the light mask, please.
Right.
The eye mask. That's not
recommended. Yeah.
And you can, in the biofeedback system, you can run yourself. I mean, that home use program, but it was designed originally to create that healthy relationship between the gifted, compassionate practitioner with the receptive, accountable client willing to make changes. And then the technology, that triad, that power of the number 3 in that relationship really is important. So working on yourself is possible, but take into consideration and think about it was designed so one could really unwind and relax. And when you're analytically crunching data and looking at voltage and amperage resistance, you're not in a state of true reception. So you have to almost train yourself to work and then relax and work and relax. And there's some auto therapies like the home use program. That's what it's designed for. You could set it up, you can unwind and disconnect and then come back. So
I have a question. So a lot of us here on the call are from Northern California. California, do you have any stations or offices, I guess you'd say, in Northern California and throughout California?
There are practitioners scattered throughout, and that's why I have this map.
I don't see any dots on the map. That's why I was asking.
I'm seriously.
Like, wait a minute.
I know. I'm working on. No, we have a list of practitioners depending on where you're at. Definitely reach out. I put my phone number there. Email, text. We're going to send an information email back out that's going to have our information on there as well. And so, I will strive to find someone in your local area to help you with what it is you're needing.
But in terms of White Dove Global, again, our clients are practitioners primarily. So that's, we will help connect you. We don't have an office. Nick is in California. I'm in
Ventura.
Michigan. And so, but no, there are Northern California practitioners, and they're all autonomous. I mean, they own their own businesses. We are looking at creating a model, duplicating some of our successful clinics to really that have the operational thing down. They're successful, and we're looking in the near future to create those models to offer when people get involved. When they want a system, they can also, for example, get the business in a box. But right now, that hasn't been our model. We're really the equipment, supply, and support systems for them, right? So hope that answers that. Thank you, Mitch.
Perfect. Anybody else have any questions? If you can't raise your hand or know how to raise your hand, go ahead and unmute yourself, and you can ask a question now, or type your question in the chat. We'll read it out loud. Okay. Back to you, Matt.
Boy, that's a quiet group. Well,
quiet group tonight.
Yeah. Well, this has been great. This is great information. I'm definitely interested. I mean, this is what I see going. I have a friend, one of the gals is on here. She does ozone oxygen therapy, and this is what I see the future of people that understand the system. I completely agree with what you said, Jake. I have your same analysis of our system for acute traumatic injuries. We have a great system, but most of the rest of it is disease management, the way I look at it, and never gets to the root of the problem. And so I really love this, where it's giving the body the tools to heal itself and getting to the root of the problem. So thanks to you and Nick, both of you guys, for this great information. Please, any other information, go ahead and put it in the chat, and then I will make sure that this video will go up on our website. It's thecaliforniamilitia.com, so it'll be up there, so anybody can view it again, go look at it. And thanks both of you for this great information and your time, and I'm sure we'll be doing this again in some sort of fashion.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you,
I wanted to say, down on the lower right-hand corner of the chat, you'll see 3 little dots. If you click on those dots, you'll be able to save the chat and get that information if you haven't written it down. We'll give you a few minutes to go ahead and grab that stuff if you want to. And I wanted to say it's one of those things. It's another rung on the ladder of health. It's not, there's many things that you have to do on that ladder. This is one. And when Matt mentioned that ozone oxygen therapy, the first thing that came to my mind is being in a chamber with the lights doing their thing, with the oxygen going on, with the sound healing in the room, and all this other stuff. You can, you know what I mean? Crystals and the whole works,
Yeah. Well, well said. That's a wonderful way to wrap it. It's not one thing. Our health isn't. Our relationships isn't. Our purpose is not about one. It's diversity, and diversity is part of health. Old saying my grandma used to say is you want as many colors in that salad as possible, right? That's the gauge, not what's in it, but the colors, the variety. Like, we need that in our lives. Muscles they don't grow anymore if you do the same workout. You have to switch it up. So mixing these, being aware of it, is the first step. And again, thank you for having us on, Matt. What an honor. And we love this. These are our people, man. You are our people. We are honored to be here. Nick, any thoughts, any closing words?
No, just thank you. Thank you. And any questions, comments, concerns, reach out, and we'll take care of you. Like Jake said, I'm in California, Jake's in Michigan, but we take care of everyone globally. So that's the beauty of what we do. So
thanks, Nick. Thanks, Jake. You guys are doing God's work. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. And I appreciate everybody on here. I'm going to end the recording now.
Recording stopped.
Matt, I was thinking, depending on how many speakers that want to come on, we could always set this up and have them on once a month if they want to do a session, and start doing something with people or whatever. But that's all your call. I was just talking out loud.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I want it, whatever's the most meaningful. I mean, this is great. I want to look more into this. What I see with this is, and I'd have to learn more from Jake and Nick about it. But I see like regional, or at least for a family or your family and friends and neighbors, or whatever, get something, especially if you're gonna spend the chunk of these
No, we
types
lost you,
of
man.
things, just like our. Oh, sorry.
You
Can
cut
you hear
out
me?
there. You might want to
Oh,
drop
yeah.
the video, and then your voice will come through better.
Yeah. Let me do that.
I got the gist of it. Yeah, the pooling, the community,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
community investment.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Exactly. We have a friend on here who comes on, and she's done some Zooms with us about her ozone oxygen therapy stuff, and just different. We've had, and I see that as not everybody needs an ozone generator. Not everybody needs one of these. Not everybody. But if you can kind of pool, like you're saying, I think that'll be the future, and maybe have one person that's kind of the guru that's taken the extra classes or whatever, and the go-to guy. So, or gal.
Well, no, absolutely. And the biofeedback is not a system although I believe everybody can benefit from it. The technology, the operation, the captain of the ship, everyone's not the captain. And that's okay. That's okay. It's actually not wrong, good, worse, bad, or it doesn't matter. Someone has to love the work, be interested in it, and want to take that on, because it is labor intensive. It's not labor intensive. It's emotion intensive. It's a very intimate service. You're going down into trying to really find and support one's core stressors. And a lot of times they're stored in our unconscious, that come into our emotional body, that come into our psychological. And being there for the long haul through that with somebody is not for the lighthearted. So just because everyone can benefit from it doesn't mean that instrument's right for everybody to own. They've made it easier with the home use panel, stuff like that. But no, that's well said. The community could grasp, and that's a model. That's part of that. We have a little document called it's called the Business of Biofeedback, and it's something that we share with people who are looking at, is this right for them? And there's different models. There's the private practice, one-on-one. There's working inside of a clinic, in a group, a wellness center. There's also and one of those models is, the community. We haven't invested a lot of energy in that. But it happens just from some of our home users. They become that in their community, through their church or through their support system, their neighborhood. They become that. But yeah, that's a really good point, Matt. We could create a more, we could be more set intention and a structure around that, and make it more of an opportunity. That's what would need to happen. Is like, look, you guys, here it is. Here's how it would work. We would need 1 or 2 people to become certified. Here's the investment. If you have a group of 5, 10, 20, here's the price point changes for everybody and what value that brings. I mean, that would just have to be created, but that's a really good idea.
Yeah. A lot. And also, it seems like to me, it's also a diagnostic tool. You can come in and go, okay, get out, leave there. All right. It said, I need to work on these areas. Okay, great. I already knew I kind of needed to eat a little better, but hey, it just pointed to the fact I'm going to use that tool, maybe go do some light therapy, some aromatherapy, some magnet therapy, whatever you need. It mix it all up, and get that diet going.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I can definitely use lots of changes, right? If you're not fixed yet, you got to make a change, right?
That's right.
If you're doing the same thing, nothing's going to get fixed.
Well, and part of the human condition is we are designed to have resistance to change. So that's where sometimes the people that need this the most are the ones who may have the most difficult, receiving it, because it does require shift. It requires change. And that's unfortunate, but it's just the reality of it, that we wish we could help everybody in the world right now. We do. But not everybody in the world, one, is positioned to operate this thing. Second, price point right now, because it's such a boutique exclusive product, is still, higher than.
But build it and they will come.
Absolutely. The average, I don't want to get into numbers and stuff, but what people spend on health insurance to get.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that myself. Like, I was going. Five people.
My family, my small family. You know what I spend on health insurance? I never use. I could buy one of these a year.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I have a friend that pays a lot of money each month, like $3,000 a month for his family.
$3,000 a month.
And what
is this for $500 a month
each year for 10 years? Think about how you could buy yourself a house.
Yeah. Yeah, $3,000, 36.
And just to let you know, you know, we're getting a lot of influx of medical professionals, nurses, and doctors and chiropractors. A lot of people that are getting out of the industry and they're getting into this because they don't want to take the shot, and they're opening up their own space.
Yeah. And they realize they've been lied to.
Yeah,
I see
it as inevitable.
I think
I see it as inevitable.
Exactly.
That's mass awakening, and the system's gone too far, pushed too far for too long, and I think it's too many doctors and everything else that had to go along as being corporate employees, and now it's just gotten too in their face, the fraud and everything else, and so I think it's unstoppable.
And it's also don't fix it if it ain't broke, and it's definitely broke, and people are going, we got to fix something, man. We can't rely on this other thing because it's just not working.
Mm-hmm. That's I don't want to say blessing of all this, but it was a catalyst for people to, like, for example, Nick, what the nurse practitioners, the nurses who truly want to serve. These are nurturing people in the world, nurturing individuals. Not to mention, the mass people who are realizing they're seeing the fraud on the wall, right? The change of story, it's a joke. It's a big joke out there. And for people but see, it goes back to the human condition of change, resistance. Ignorance is bliss. They'd rather stay close, some of these people, and go along because of their bubble and reality, instead of just opening their eyes and realizing, wait a second, I'm going to take some true ownership of my life and my health and my career and my freedom. And at the end of the day, those people who are blind, those aren't our people, and they're not going to probably ever come find us or book sessions with our practitioners. And that's something I've had to come to grips with, which has been hard because I grew up with this. This has been my reality. This has been always the potential of the human. And to see people so blindly follow and jump off the cliff, not just fall off, but jump at any type of campaign of fear, it's truly can be disheartening. So part of me working with Nick reminds me every day to stay focused on what we can control and to do it with a smile, because I can't let other people's decisions affect my well-being and me being there for my wife and my family and my boys and my clients, and for you guys, my partners, and you know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough out there seeing the sheep, but it's one practitioner at a time, one session book at a time. And it's starting to now really gain steam. So we're going to need some help. You guys are helping with that by sharing it with your network, and we're there. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be on again. And thanks, Matt. Thanks and for hosting and doing this. We really appreciate it.
So I have a question for Nick and Jake. When did you guys stop watching TV?
Oh yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV.
Isn't that the key?
Yeah,
it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it.
You ask people who are awake, it's like, when did you stop watching TV? They're like, 8-10 years ago. It's like, that's a huge correlation. People that don't watch TV are receptive to new ideas.
Yeah.
People that do are not. And I think it's a programming brainwave that they're throwing out. So it's programming their brains not to be receptive to new ideas.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And I can't prove it, but it just seems.
I completely agree.
Causation.
I don't know. I'm just going to throw this out. 2030 Unmasked, that documentary. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. That's a good, clean, complete 2-hour video about everything.
The situation.
So, yeah.
Okay. We try not to talk about it. use the words that we can't use. You know what I mean? Isn't that weird? In America, freedom of speech, you can't use certain words.
Right.
For fear of retribution.
Yeah, we had one of them taken down on the YouTube. It was with Dr. Andrew Kaufman, and the COVID word was used, and I guess that got taken down.
Right. What happened?
Be careful.
So we can't talk about those words.
Yeah. The more censorship that's unfolding to people who are truly coming from a place of logic. What's hard is when they take you off, they are removing the information and the message. So it is effective that what they're doing, but I think there's a wave they can't stop now. I think there's too much just contradictions, and that's what it goes to, is how in the world can people still follow? It's mind blowing to me, because it's not even but yeah, that's a good idea. I don't watch a lot of TV. I just don't have time, and nor I care, but I'm going to go cancel my cable bill, and I'm going to
your internet to take care of do things like this, but the TV part is just nothing but trash.
Oh yeah. I don't even watch it.
And well, I don't know if you know a little bit about, Matt and I and others in the group, but we're in that freedom movement. We know something's wrong with the system. We know obviously something's wrong with the system, and we've been we got to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
So, you come down to, you go down a lot of rabbit holes, and definitely the health one is definitely part of it, because when you realize that you're the creator gifted you this body to use while you're on the earth. So you're the trustee. He's the grantor. You're the trustee, also the beneficiary, but also everybody around you is your beneficiary.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're using those terms and starting to build our trust, and that is the true redemption here on earth, folks.
Yeah.
Learning trust.
Well, there's a very similar thing that they've done with the medical system that they've done with our legal system. They've done this very similar thing, how they've basically taken it over, and doctors who, I agree with Jake that most of them, they're smart, they want to help people, they go in for the right reasons, but they get into this corrupt system. Same thing with lawyers. It's a corrupt system that is not anything that the average person thinks it is, and that's what James was talking about. That's how we kind of came together, was learning about law and legal versus lawful and all that. And so anyways.
No, it's a great analogy, and the trust, the trustee, and the benefit, that analogy for health, I love. I never thought of that, but
dude, I'm a salesman for your company. You don't even know it.
Absolutely.
I'm here to help, brother. I'm here to help everybody.
I love it, and I appreciate it,
James. Yeah.
The history of our health in the States is so corrupt. It's so gangster. It's if people knew the story behind the pharmaceutical company, the Rockefeller owning,
we know,
and the whole nine. I mean,
Flexner report.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't. Absolutely. That's not something I wanted to lead with the people tonight. Obviously, I wanted to share.
Talk about it because a lot of people don't want to hear that. Only a certain group want to go down those rabbit holes, but you can delve into that. Like I say to people, doesn't matter what they're going to do. What are we going to do? We need to concentrate on what we're doing, not what they're doing. They're going to continue to do their schmucky stuff. But what it is, and they've taught us at the beginning of our lives, all about competition, not thinking with your mind and being cooperative, but being in competition. Think about it. He want you to play checkers. What's checkers? Same side, same type of fitting opponents. In other words, they're equal in size and stature, and all you do is against each other, competition, right? Mm-hmm. Where chess, there's a few more different parts and different moving pieces, and that competition thing of the checkers is the same thing with Republican and Democrat. Same thing with, you name it, black and white, gay, straight, blah, blah, blah. It's the divisive, get two people to fight over scarcity, invent scarcity, and get people to fight over it. And that's what the whole system we've been taught and grown up on. And you know what? It's got to change. it's got to go to the thought of we're beneficiaries to each other and we're trustees to each other, and we're not all out to, by getting ahead, rob the guy next to you. That doesn't get you it. If you had the thought as, look, I'll divide my stuff in half to share with my neighbor, and if he had the same mindset, then you're both whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and it's a better way to go rather than being competition and trying to rule, to get ahead, to outdo the Joneses.
Yeah. I interviewed this cool cat named, his name's Greg Braden. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a thought leader in spirituality and science and the bridge of it and stuff. Long story short, I interviewed him after he published a book, and it was all about the duality, like you talked about, the good and the bad, the evil and the Democrat, Republican, the red and the blue, and this conflict and like you said, the competition. I believe in healthy competition between my boys when they're playing, but the competition you're talking about is different. I know that, but exactly,
divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer at all costs. But what we need is the cooperation, the collaboration.
Yes,
is the missing link. That's what we're doing here tonight. I love it. You guys are awesome to let us come and speak freely and share. We want to share too, and let us know how we can support all of you. Because we have a lot of growth to do. Nick and I talk about all the time. Part of me stays buckled down and focused in the bubble, but we're aware, we know what's up, we know what's going down, and the process of playing our role while also, keeping our sanity is always a dance, because I'll tell you, if it wasn't for my wife and kids, I'd probably be raving from a mountaintop, really.
That is the hard. I'm sorry. That is the hard part, living in this with what we know while trying to blend in with society. And the other big thing that I see them doing is the whole quote unquote climate change, and using the scarcity model, like James is talking about with the carbon. Basically, it's going to control all movement, control everything. And so the more people we can wake up, because they're going to be doing that, it's all about control, total control. Mm-hmm. And the more people we can wake up, because it's a similar, different model, but they do want to control through the medical system. Now it's going to be controlled through the climate, quote unquote, climate crisis. And it's just all BS. But thank you, Jake. Thank you, Nick. Thanks James. I got to jump off and get on to it. I got to get on another Zoom call here in a minute. So I'm going to have to end this.
Have a good one.
Take care, you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.